Yo, what's going on? I'm gonna be breaking down the trade that I took last week on GBP CHF. So closed out for about 8K in profit, and the trade never even hit my full TP. It never continued down. It didn't even go to where I thought it was going to. So first of all, GBP CHF was a beautiful shift of structure. This was a bullish market, and as you see right here, at one point I drew this on my chart because I was looking for buys. So I was actually looking for a pullback into 106,800, as it should have continued to go higher from the break outside of this consolidation. So how do I go from a bullish market to then catching a sell, which then reverses as it's doing right now, but I still managed to catch a profit? So that's how I'm gonna break down, because I think it's very important that if you understand the process about what to do, even when a trade goes against you, and even when a trade doesn't hit your full take profit, how you can still make money from it. So starting off, let's go on the higher time frames. What did I see when I was looking to take this trade? Well, let's go into the replay mode. I was around this point, so let's go one candle forward. So when I took the trade itself, the entry, this candle was a weak bullish candle. Wasn't very strong at all. It was kind of struggling to go higher. And I do believe we had somewhat of a wick to the top. I can't quite remember exactly, but I do know it was a pretty weak bullish candle. And I had a feeling it was gonna start to turn into a bearish candle. So if I go forward on the daily, that's when we actually had a big pullback. And let's go down here. Yeah, so I remember that we had the market go all the way up here at one point, and I was like, damn, maybe this is gonna continue. Maybe I was wrong about this going down. But I think because we rejected off of the moving average, as you see here on the 2-hour time frame, we came very close to it. We basically bounced off of it and then continued down. This actually did continue to head down. So what did I see? Well, at that point, the market was retesting into resistance. So that's why I wanted to take this sell, because most likely, if we're going to be bouncing off of that resistance so many times, and then we have the moving average catching up to it on the 1-hour and 2-hour time frame, then that could very well be held as resistance to then go down. And that's exactly what happened. Let's see if I can make this a little smaller there. All right, so hopefully I wasn't blocking the screen. All right, right there should be good. So yeah, I mean, it was basically retesting. The market always does a retest when it bounces back up. My main concern, I guess, was that if we were to use the Fibonacci, it would have been a bigger retracement, and it would have had to actually retrace further higher up. But I knew that there was a chance that that wasn't going to happen, and there's actually a pretty high chance of that because of one specific thing, and that's the strength of this bearish candle. Because it went down so much and so fast, I was like, you know what? This is not going to pull back further. Like, it's going to just continue down because sellers are in control right now, and there is so much momentum to the downside that the market is not going to have enough buyers to even go back up to the 50%. So that's why you have to play it by ear. You can't always use the Fibonacci for your entries. It's not like a fundamental thing that you always need to have. Instead, if the market is behaving like in a normal way where it's just going down slowly and then going back up, for sure, entering in at the 50 or at the moving average would be a better choice. But in this case, I mean, sure, we weren't quite at the moving average. We were very close to it, but you can tell by the strength of this move down that happened right at the end of the week prior that we were most likely going to continue, especially because every time we attempted to go higher, as you see, we're trying to go higher, it just keeps getting rejected. So it got rejected here once, twice, and all of these wicks right here show us that the market is struggling to go higher. Now, how do I even know that this is a bearish market? Because I know some people are going to ask, well, how do you know that it was going to go down in the first place? Well, that's because we had a shift of structure. So I use something called a CTI, a counter trend impulse. So I'm gonna mark this here in red. That's the CTI right there. That's what changed the structure. Like that's the first indication that a reversal is likely to happen. Now, I'm not going to enter in a trade based on just this pattern, but it's the first indication that it's going to happen. Because what I need to confirm my sell is a confirmed shift of structure, and that's lower highs. So I need to have lower highs form before entering in. This right here would be the first lower high that the market made. So I'm going to put that one in yellow. And this down here at 07500 is the second lower high. So as you see, we have a lower high, a second lower high. After the second one forms, that confirms it. We also broke below this low. So now we have one lower low and the second one down here. So now we have a series of two for both sides, the upside and the downside. Once you have that, it's confirmed the new trend, and it's confirmed that this is an official shift of structure. So from here, you can look to enter in. You could have entered in up here, catching this huge move to the downside. The only thing was that because we were a little bit distant from the moving average, that's why I didn't personally find an entry there. But there's other opportunities. You know, we pulled back again. This could have been an opportunity to sell right there. Wouldn't have played out, but it was still an opportunity regardless. You know, unless you held for a longer period of time. But where I decided to enter in was after this nice impulsive move down, which shows, look, we're still sells, like we're still selling, and this is still a very bearish trend. Although, you know, you can see a little bit of a higher high here, that never changed the structure of the trend, because we always need to have at least two higher highs and two higher lows before confirming a shift of structure. This is number one. So I'm literally going to just write it out here. This is number one, and this is number one. So this is the first higher low, and this is the first higher high. Is one higher high and higher low enough to confirm it? No, you need at least two. What did we have here? Here we had number one and number two, and here we had number one and number two. That's how we were sure that this market was starting to go down, because before then we were pretty much bullish. So we had 1, 2, and we have one high here, and then of course once we broke outside, we have our second higher high. At this point, we are bullish, and you could pretty much look for buys until the next shift of structure happens. This right here would have been a perfect buy entry based on our strategy, because you're entering in, you know, at the moving average. Would have been perfect, whatever. So let's not get too caught up on that, but that's pretty much how the strategy overview works. There's a lot of details to it to make it work properly, but that's pretty much how it works. So that's why I didn't get confused when the market made one series of higher highs. So what did I do to manage this trade and actually still get out in profit? So I exited this trade right here, Friday. You know, Friday, for me, here, I'm in Europe right now. I'm traveling in Spain. So my time zone was a little bit different. That's what allowed me to actually be on the charts at a time where in the United States, it would have been 5 a.m. But for me, it was a much more reasonable time. So I was able to exit out around that time. And, you know, if we really look at this, it was only slightly above a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, if I'm not mistaken, because I made, you know, 8K, 10K before all fees. I know for based off of my risk, that's more than a 1-to-1. As you see right here, 1 to 1.2 risk to reward. Now, I'm not considering that when I'm looking at exiting my trade. The only thing that I'm basing that decision off of is the fact that I want to be out of the trade at that point. The reason why I want to be out of the trade is because the market started to slow down, it started to consolidate, and why would I stay in a trade that's consolidating when the whole idea was that we were going to be in a trend to the downside? We make money off of the trends. We don't make money when the market consolidates and bounces up and down. That's why my whole strategy is called ride the wave. So I started to see we had a higher low right here. Now, does one higher low mean that the market is reversing? No, that's not what it means at all. But it does show that the market is slowing down. You see here, the market came up, came down, came back up. We started to be choppy. So we started to be choppy in this area. I'm going to exit out of that trade because the whole idea was that we were supposed to continue down. Now, was there a slight little mistake on this trade on my end? Sure, because I could have exited out here for a nice big profit, still would have caught over a 1 to 2 risk to reward, and I would have been happy, would have been a fast win, and I would have been out of the trade immediately. But it's not always gonna work out, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to make this video, to show you guys, even though, yes, I should have closed out of the trade down here, should have caught my 1 to 2, I didn't, but I still made a very nice amount of profit over a 1 to 1 risk to reward, so I made more than I was risking. And at the end of the day, look now. Look what the market is doing now. It's reversing. And I got out before that reversal because the market started to slow down. All you need to do is read price action and just understand what it's trying to tell you. Every single candlestick, every single series of candlesticks, like every low, every swing high, they all tell you a story about what the market is doing. And if you could just start to understand these patterns, okay, we have our higher low, higher high, and then you start marking it up, you start finding the CTI moves, you start analyzing where the moving average is relative to price, and you start to really pinpoint your entries precisely, you're gonna be good. I'm in a trade right now that I'm about to exit out of soon. GBP USD. I entered in last week, the last day of last week, like literally a couple days ago on Friday. It's Monday right now. Insane trade. And I was so confident about it. I had some drawdown. Some people said in my group, hey man, I think this is gonna hit stop loss. And I'm like, well, it hasn't hit stop loss yet. And that's when the market was all the way up here. Now, why did I think that? Because we're right at the moving average. If anything, I'll make a separate video on this because I don't want this video to get too long. But it's the same stuff. It just happens over and over. So yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Let me know if you have any questions below, and let me know if this type of video helped you out here. This is an example of when things did not go perfect. It did not go perfectly according to plan. My take profit didn't get hit. I actually missed my exit point, but I still managed to get out in profit and live to see another week in the markets. And every single week that you can survive in the markets, sticking to the same strategy, profits are just naturally going to come. It's just naturally going to come. So you just want to stay in the game.